In issue 100, Dr. Robotnik's tyrannical control over Planet Mobius finally came to an end at the hands of Sonic. Robotnik had controlled Mobius for years, many lives lost and countless lives destroyed under Robotnik's evil regime. But at last the people of Mobius were free. Robotnik had ruled for so long that many didn't know what freedom even was, or had grown up under Robotnik's rule. Was this the last we'd see of Dr. Robotnik? Not a chance. Rewind in time a bit to the final moments inside Citadel Robotnik, which was the control and nerve centre of Robotnik's empire. Sonic overloaded the power core in the emergency generator room. The overloaded core caused the entire Citadel to explode in a massive explosion seen from miles away. However, just before the explosion, Robotnik and Grimer managed to escape into the sewers beneath the Metropolis Zone just in the nick of time. They came out of the sewers on the edge of the city. There, Robotnik could see the shattered remains of his beloved Citadel in the distance. Robotnik swore revenge for this humiliation, but with no forces or badniks to lead and only Grimer at his side, he would have to retreat, and retreat fast before he was discovered by anyone. For the first time in his life, Robotnik was defenseless and on the run. Disguising themselves in hooded overcoats and scrapping together what little of his old machinery from his destroyed forces they could along the way, they arrived at the Mobius Sea. This was a much easier task than Robotnik first thought, mostly due to the Mobians being too distracted with their newly acquired freedom. Parties, celebrations, parades, the cheers of joys from the Mobians went on for days, and why would anyone care about two random strangers passing through during this time of celebration? As far as they knew, Robotnik was dead. Their ignorance will be their downfall, sneered Robotnik. Grimer and Robotnik stole one of the local boats at the harbour. There, Robotnik set sail to a new destination, one where no Mobian or freedom fighter would be present, one where Robotnik could plot his revenge in peace. That destination is Flickies Island. The journey took several days, but they finally arrived at the mysterious Flickies Island. Robotnik had always intended to investigate this mysterious island and its inhabitants, the Flickies themselves. But one thing got to another, and Robotnik never got around to it. With his current circumstances he now faced, he had to speed up his plans. With the salvage technology they brought along with them, Robotnik set up his base in an ancient building they found in the rusty ruin part of Flickies Island. The damp, dark, dilapidated building was certainly not the standard for Robotnik's base of operations. The massive technical structures of power such as the Death Egg and the Citadel were now a thing of the past. To think, the once glorious dictator of Mobius would now be subject to living in these conditions. Robotnik had no choice, it would have to do for now. Once his base was set up, Robotnik and Grimer travelled Flickies Island, capturing what Flickies they could. The Flickies are mysterious creatures. They only appear on the island for a few weeks every year, and Robotnik wanted to know where the Flickies go to. It didn't take long for Robotnik to discover the Mobius ring and therefore learning the Flickies' secret. It turns out the Flickies use the Mobius ring to travel to and from a mysterious dimension. Moving the Mobius ring to his new base, Robotnik designed a new machine to capture the Flickies from this mysterious dimension. This was a much easier task for capturing the Flickies as opposed to travelling the island looking for them. The Flickies were unlike Mobians. They contained mysterious properties and they would be ideal organic batteries for Robotnik's new range of deadly badniks. At last Robotnik now had a plan. Capture as many Flickies as he needs via the Mobius ring for his new army of badniks, preparing for a full-scale attack. He'd bring Mobius to its knees and return once again as ruler of the planet. At least, that was his plan. After some time, Robotnik now had amassed a couple dozen badniks. Robotnik asked for the blue Flickie that they captured earlier, however it managed to slip from Grimer's fingers and out of its cell, escaping Robotnik's base and the island. A furious Robotnik strangled Grimer for this incompetence. Robotnik quickly moved on thinking, what possible harm could one Flickie cause? Meanwhile, at this same point in time back in the Emerald Hill Zone, Sonic and the other freedom fighters were welcoming home the Emerald Hill folk to the Emerald Hill Zone. The Emerald Hill folk had been hiding on the floating island in secret for years to avoid Robotnik's wrath, of which he swore the ultimate revenge on them following the destruction of the Death Egg at the hands of Sonic. But with Robotnik now out of the way, the Emerald Hill folk returned to their peaceful homes. Some days later, an aboard Sonic was alerted to danger by Tails. Tails brought Sonic to the blue Flicky who had escaped Flicky's island. He had travelled several days in the hopes of finding help. Sonic didn't really understand the urgency of a little bird somehow asking for help, but Sonic was surprised to learn that Tails can understand Flicky language. This is how Tails knows of danger going on in Flicky's island. But even still, there is only so much information Tails can get from the small bird. All he knows is there is serious danger going on there, but what type of danger he is yet to know. With nothing else going on, Sonic reluctantly agrees to go along with Tails and the Flicky, and the three set off in the tornado to Flicky's island. After a short plane ride, the three arrive on Flicky's island. However, everything seems quiet to Sonic, and he doubts the Flicky again. They begin to investigate before reaching Rusty Ruin. There they find an ancient building. Flicky warns Tails of danger inside, but Sonic brushes it off and claims the place is deserted. Sonic couldn't be more wrong. Robotnik is back. The two finally encounter each other again. The last time they saw each other was inside Citadel Robotnik as it was about to blow. Sonic immediately goes on the offense before being pulled back by Tails to see exactly what they are up against first. Robotnik divulges his plan that he'd always intended to investigate Flicky's island and discover where the Flickies vanished to, and that he now knows how to catch them. Catch them? Why? A puzzled Sonic asked. Because, my dear hedgehog, they make ideal organic batteries for my new range of deadly badniks, Robotnik shouted. And with that, Sonic witnesses the helpless Flicky that Robotnik just captured sucked into one of his new killer machines. A battle ensues as Sonic and Tails take on Robotnik's new badniks. It's clear from the start that these are no normal badniks as one survives a super spin attack. While Sonic shrugs it off to Tails, he begins to grow concerned. But he's right, no ordinary badnik could have survived that attack, Sonic ponders. An ecstatic Robotnik continues to gloat that Sonic and Tails don't stand a chance. Sonic puts everything he has into his next super spin attack. He hits it at full power. It survives. It looks like these new badniks truly are unbeatable. However, just as Sonic grows more concerned, the badnik falls apart. He did it! There's still no badnik Robotnik can build that I can't smash, Sonic says. However, in the time it took Sonic to defeat one badnik, Robotnik was able to capture Tails. Tails was now at Robotnik's mercy. With Sonic now unable to act in fear of Tails' well-being, Robotnik shouts his intention of making the people of Mobius suffer with misery more than ever before when he returns to power. This time they'll tremble at the mere mention of his name. He then tells Sonic to step into this cage while he can ponder his fate. Sonic gives in to Robotnik's demands and heads to the cage. Just then, at that exact moment, the Mobius ring powers to life without Robotnik's command. A blinding light blasts through Robotnik's base before a hulking person or creature emerges from the Mobius ring. It speaks, claiming to be a prosecutor who has come in the name of the eternal Drakon Empire. The prosecutor demands to know who has discovered the secret of the Mobius ring. Sonic uses this as the perfect chance to rescue Tails and take care of Robotnik. The prosecutor demands that everyone remain motionless or face the consequences. Sonic shrugs his demands off. How could someone that bulking and big be able to catch him? Sonic rescues Tails and charges towards Robotnik. While Sonic continues his charge head-on to the former dictator, the prosecutor activates his staff and performs a gesture where it appears he's aiming at the ground. Sonic thinks it's some kind of ray gun. The prosecutor shouts he doesn't need to hit Sonic, and that his staff has the power to increase the gravitational field around him. Sonic, Tails and Robotnik immediately crash to the ground immobilized. The prosecutor again demands who discovered the secret of the Mobius ring. This time he will have answers. And now immobilised Sonic asks just what is going on here, and just what is this Mobius ring? The prosecutor complies and informs Sonic that thousands of years ago the Drakons had an outpost on Mobius. The Mobians were primitive creatures in those early days, and the Drakons eventually lost interest in them, though when the Drakons departed they left the Mobius ring, knowing that one day they would become advanced enough to use it, and on that day they would perhaps be a threat to the Drakon Empire. Sonic explains that Mobius is a peace-loving bunch, except for Dr. Robotnik here. And with that information, the prosecutor has all he needs. Robotnik is the one he seeks. The prosecutor grabs Robotnik, saying he will return with him to the Drakon Empire for interrogation. Robotnik tries to plead with the prosecutor with lies, saying it's not him he wants and that Sonic is to blame for discovering the secrets of the Mobius ring. The prosecutor replies that the interrogation will reveal the truth. The Drakon are very thorough. With the gravitational field wearing off, Sonic launches an attack on the prosecutor. Tails asks what is he doing? Doesn't he want to be rid of Robotnik? Robotnik's wanted for crimes on Mobius and we take care of our own problems, Sonic explains. Sonic hits the prosecutor with a super spin attack and damages him. Turns out he's not as tough as he'd like to make out. The prosecutor isn't finished off though and hits Sonic with an electrical current from his armour. The weakened prosecutor grabs Robotnik and prepares to leave before Sonic can recover. Tails tries to stop him, but it's too late. Robotnik and the prosecutor are gone, and the Mobius ring has stopped working indefinitely. A concerned Sonic worries about the stuff the prosecutor said about Mobius being some kind of threat. Tails shows Sonic some of the armour that fell off the prosecutor. Sonic is reminded of a familiar face on the piece of his armour. The face is in fact very similar to the giant sentinel that Sonic encountered years ago. With nothing left for them to do, Sonic and Tails head home. During the confusion earlier, Grimer managed to escape into the shadows. Robotnik is taken to the House of War on the Drakon Home world. There, Robotnik is slung into a prison cell where he would wait for his interrogation. To think the once glorious ruler of Mobius would be the subject of being a lowly prisoner on an alien world. Robotnik would need to use his wits to get out of this predicament he was in, though this would be nothing new to Robotnik. He had got out of tight situations before. A few days passed. Robotnik didn't waste his time, and he learns what he can of the Drakons from his dingy cell. Then finally, Robotnik is summoned for his interrogation. Robotnik is taken by several sentinels and brought before Emperor Kodor, the ruler of the House of War. Robotnik immediately tries to explain himself and plead his case to Kodor.
Silence, Robotnik! It will be I who ask the questions and you who will answer,
a demanded Kodor expressed. Robotnik is accused of tampering with the Mobius ring and destroying the Sentinel that was outposted in the aquatic ruin zone all those years ago. This jogs a memory in Robotnik. Robotnik had security cameras all over Planet Mobius when he was ruler, and recalls seeing the video footage of the Sentinel falling apart in front of Sonic. This information was what Robotnik needed to create a lie from. Robotnik says that Sonic was the one who destroyed the Sentinel, and that he is the true threat to the Drakon Empire. Kodor grows interested and hears Robotnik out, but this is not enough to get Robotnik's freedom. Robotnik was in trouble. The Sentinel story was not going to be enough to get him off the hook. If he didn't have anything else to add, then it would be back to his prison cell for perhaps the rest of his life. Then, Robotnik makes the incredible bold claim that Sonic, and Sonic alone, knows the secret location to the all-powerful Chaos and Master Emeralds. The Drakons were the original owners of the Chaos Emeralds thousands of years ago, before they were stolen by the Echidna tribe. If Kodor could get his hands on them, then he would have absolute power over all. Robotnik proposes that he and Kodor team up. With the might of the Drakon Empire behind him, he will surely defeat Sonic and reclaim his power stronghold over Mobius, and in return, Robotnik will find the secret location of the Chaos Emeralds for Kodor, so the Drakons can reclaim what is rightfully theirs. Kodor thinks for a short while, before signalling to the prosecutors to remove the shackles from Robotnik. Robotnik smiles slightly. His lies had worked, and now he had leverage over the Drakon Empire. It's also important to note that shortly after Robotnik's ultimate defeat in issue 100, DRAT was formed. DRAT stood for Dr. Robotnik's Appreciation Tribe. This started as a small group of Mobians who worshipped the tyrannical regime of Robotnik and would not have a bad word said about him. To DRAT, Robotnik would always be the rightful ruler of Mobius. These Mobians enjoyed living their lives in misery and fear under Robotnik's rule. DRAT was run by Grand Chief Whip, and this group would eventually grow over time to become quite large and cause much chaos for the freedom fighters. DRAT had even managed to gain access to many of Robotnik's old armories. Some time had passed, and in the Emerald Hill Zone, where the tyranny of Robotnik is a fading memory and now peace rules once more, a bright light appears in the zone, and the Mobius ring materialises, and who should appear from it? But none other than Robotnik himself. But he wasn't alone. Robotnik had returned to Mobius, and he now had a modified left glove which gave him the ability to control the Mobius ring. Nearby at Sonic's home and headquarters, Sonic and the others were finishing upgrading the Kinterbor computer. Finally, after years of being cooped up on a laptop, the Kinterbor computer now had the freedom he once had in Sonic's old secret base before it was destroyed. Kinterbor had a brand new network of sensors that were set around the Emerald Hill Zone, so he could detect any incoming attacks or danger. Kinterbor immediately detects danger, and boy is he right, Robotnik has infiltrated Sonic's headquarters. Sonic and the others are shocked by Robotnik's reappearance. They thought they had seen the last of him. Robotnik claims that the Drakon Empire recognised his genius and that he and them have made a deal, and with their backing he is invincible. He then commands his new badniks to attack, and they immediately defeat Amy and Tails. This new breed of badniks may be tough, but Sonic states that he can still take them out. Robotnik is fully aware of this, and that's why he's brought him. Behold, the new Metallix, the Knuckles Metallix model. Sonic brings up Robotnik's past of the Brotherhood of Metallix's betrayal, and that he must be crazy to make more of them. Robotnik brags that he learns from his mistakes, and this Metallix is loyal only to him. The Knuckles Metallix model had been in production for years. A badnik based off Sonic proved to be too unstable, and that's why the shift was changed to a Knuckles design. If Robotnik had not been defeated in issue 100, this new model would have been finished a lot sooner. Sonic goes on the offense but is grabbed and immediately KO'd by Metallix. Robotnik instructs Metallix to bring Sonic. They are leaving. Robotnik, with an unconscious Sonic, leaves via the Mobius ring. Tails wakes up and manages to follow them just as the Mobius ring dematerializes. It's not long before Sonic is brought before Emperor Kodor. Here he is charged with crimes against the Drakon Empire. Sonic has no idea what he's talking about and can clearly see that foul play is at work here. Robotnik is behind this. He's not going to just stand here and take this either. Sonic tries to charge towards Robotnik, but Kodor instructs a Sentinel to subdue the prisoner. Sonic is shocked by the Sentinel's staff. The mention of a Sentinel while being immobilized refreshes his memory of the Sentinel that fell apart in front of him in the aquatic ruin zone. Robotnik claims this as the prisoner admitting guilt. Kodor takes this also as a confession.
So you admit you are responsible for the destruction of our Sentinel?
Kodor goes on to explain that the Drakon Empire lived in the area he knows as the Aquatic Ruin Zone thousands of years ago, and that the Sentinel was left there as an outpost. Thanks to Robotnik's information, Kodor now sees Mobius as a threat. Kodor instructs the prisoner to be taken away. He will face trial in the morning. Later on, Sonic was having no success trying to escape from his prison cell. Robotnik stops by for a visit, relishing at the chance to see Sonic captive. Robotnik informs what type of trial Sonic awaits in the morning.
Don't expect a judge and jury. In the Drakon Empire, trial is by combat, he states.
Sonic asks how Robotnik knew of the Sentinel he met.
Back then, I was the ruler of Mobius. There wasn't much my spy cameras missed.
Then, later in Robotnik's temporary set-up laboratory on the Drakon Homeworld, Robotnik is plotting with Grimer how with the support of the Drakon Empire, Soon Mobius will be under his control once again. Grimer had been retrieved by Robotnik via the Mobius ring on Flickies Island after he was taken away by the prosecutor. Robotnik has big plans for Mobius, but first he plans to extract his ultimate revenge on that miserable hedgehog. Tomorrow, Metallix will destroy Sonic once and for all. Morning comes and Sonic is taken to the Arena of Judgment where he will stand trial. Sonic is charged with crimes against the Drakon Empire. Kodor takes Sonic's "oh get on with it" as a non-guilty, and now the trial can begin. Sonic shouts at Robotnik, "Mobius is ready for you, you'll never take control again." Robotnik responds that he's wrong and that with the Drakon's support nothing can stop him. Kodor reminds Robotnik that that may be true, but do not forget the deal they agreed on, and when the time comes, Kodor expects Robotnik to keep his side of the agreement. Robotnik nervously agrees. Sonic's challenger arrives, and it's none other than Metallix. Looks like Robotnik's pulled more strings to make Sonic's life a misery. The trial finally begins, Sonic vs Metallix. If Sonic is victorious, then he will be declared innocent by Drakon law. Sonic and Metallix engage in an epic battle. Sonic starts to take the upper hand before being hit by Metallix's death ray. Robotnik is ecstatic to see Sonic being hurt.
He'll get what he finally deserves.
Sonic is now struggling to get any offense in. Public screens broadcast the trial to Drakon citizens. A worried Tails looks on. He has got to help Sonic before it's too late. The battle rages on and things start to look increasingly worse for Sonic while Metallix continues his relentless assault. In the end, Tails intervenes and with the help of an electronic door, he defeats Metallix by dropping the door on him. Sonic and Tails try to make an escape before being stopped by a prosecutor. Sonic's had just about enough of this whole facade and obliterates him. The prosecutor's head falls off, revealing that the Drakons are actually a race from the sea, and using their superior intelligence constructed robot bodies to function on dry land. Just then, more prosecutors arrive, led by, this time, Robotnik. Robotnik orders the prosecutors to destroy Sonic, however just as they are about to attack, they are commanded to stand down by Kodor.
The accused won his trial by combat. The law is clear. Sonic the Hedgehog is innocent of all charges,
states Kodor. Robotnik tries to plead his case and that Sonic cheated. Robotnik has pushed his luck here and is shut down by Kodor, shouting at him, "Do not question him." Kodor instructs a prosecutor to take Sonic back to Mobius safely, with Sonic agreeing to leave, but know this, as long as the Drakon Empire supports Robotnik, then the Drakon Empire is his enemy. Robotnik's plan to destroy Sonic by the Drakon Empire had failed. Shortly after, Robotnik and Grimer left the Drakon homeworld and returned to his base back on Flickies Island. Robotnik would go back to capturing Flickies for his badniks and launch continual badnik attacks throughout Mobius to remind the residents of Mobius that he is very much still here and isn't going anywhere. Tails, Amy, Techno and others all encountered these attacks and quickly put a stop to them where they could. Robotnik was also in communication with some of his loyal minions from when he was in power, such as Max Gamble. Many of these old adversaries were easy enough to defeat for Sonic and the others, however a new mysterious foe was making his presence known. His name was Agent X, and he answered directly to Robotnik. This mysterious individual caused many headaches for our heroes, and whenever it looked like Sonic and Co was catching up to him, he always gave them the slip. Who was he, and what was his connection to Robotnik? No one knew yet. Robotnik tried a few other schemes such as pretending to want peace and a badnik that looked to send Sonic to the future. He of course continually came up short. It was now common knowledge that Robotnik was living on Flickies Island. Robotnik was aware of this and security was ramped up all over the island. With all this danger, no one would be crazy enough to try to attack him there. Robotnik even had a stone carving of his face placed on the ancient ruins of which his base operated. Robotnik always did like to look at himself. A few months passed, and on the Drakon homeworld some serious events were taking place. The three leaders of the most powerful houses of the Drakon Empire were in meeting. Sister Hagra of the House of Magic, Mr. Scholar of the House of Learning, and Emperor Kodor of the House of War. The Vapes of Destiny revealed that Sonic is the one they seek. He is the one that knows the secrets of the mighty Chaos Emeralds. The problem is that none of them claim to know who he is, or even where he is. One thing they do agree on is that they will eventually find him, and they will have him. Meanwhile, on Flickies Island, Robotnik is continuing construction of building more Metallix to defeat Sonic, but he is interrupted by the Mobius ring materialising. Someone from the Drakon Empire is paying him a visit. It's Emperor Kodor. Robotnik pretends to be pleased to see him, but Kodor tells him to spare him the pleasantries. This is not a social call. It's time for Robotnik to keep his side of their bargain. The time is now. Kodor wants the Chaos Emeralds. It turns out that the deal that Robotnik made with Kodor to find the secret location of the Chaos Emeralds wasn't to benefit the entire Drakon Empire at all. Kodor intends to keep the emeralds for himself, and with their power, he will rule both the House of Learning and the House of Magic, as well as his own region, making him supreme ruler of all Drakon. This is why Kodor lied earlier to pretend not to recognise Sonic to the other leaders. Robotnik states that he needs more time to prepare. They agreed that his new Metallixes would secretly get the emeralds for him once he gets the information from Sonic. If the other rulers of Drakon realise what he's up to...
Silence, Robotnik! The time for caution is over! I want to know where those emeralds are now!
Shouts Kodor. The Emperor is about to make his move. Back in the Emerald Hill Zone, Sonic and Tails had once again thwarted another Badnik attack. However, just as they congratulate themselves, a Drakon Sentinel punches Sonic. Kodor has finally begun his pursuit of Sonic. Kodor brags that a primitive hedgehog can't hope to defeat one of the Drakon Empire's mighty Sentinels. Kodor must have a short memory, as he's clearly forgotten Sonic facing Metallix and defeating a superior prosecutor. Robotnik tells Kodor not to underestimate Sonic. Grimer brings up that Sonic has been beating Robotnik for years. An irritated Robotnik tells him to be silent. Kodor goes on to say that once he has claimed the Chaos Emeralds, that the House of War will dominate the Drakon Empire, and then he will become master of the universe. While Kodor continues to shout out his demands, Grimer whispers to Robotnik and asks him why is he making Kodor capture Sonic to find the Chaos Emeralds when Robotnik already knows they are on the floating island.
You fool! Do you really think I would let the Drakon Empire get its hands on those emeralds? I have a plan, Grimer. A plan to get the power of the Chaos Emeralds for myself, replied Robotnik.
While at first Robotnik had lied about the Chaos Emerald's secret location to save his own neck, now he had a risky plan to take the emeralds for himself, right from under Kodor's nose. Meanwhile, back in the Emerald Hill Zone, Sonic had easily defeated the Sentinel. Grimer jokes again for Kodor not to feel bad, as that always happens to our Badniks as well. Robotnik is starting to get angry. Kodor immediately launches another attack on Sonic, this time several Sentinels and a Prosecutor. To attack Sonic in his home zone is not a wise move by any adversary. Sonic knows this zone like the back of his hand. This was the place he learned to use his Sonic speed after all. And with that said, Sonic and Tails easily defeat the other Sentinels, one of them even defeated by a recoiled palm tree. The prosecutors say Sonic has not won yet. He has yet to face the Master Sentinel. Sonic tells him to bring it on. The prosecutor activates his staff, and the Master Sentinel appears from the river. This Sentinel is a little bigger than the others, a worried Tails states. Kodor claims his victory is certain. Nothing can defeat a Master Sentinel. Sonic's about to give it a good shot though. The Master Sentinel proves to be quite the formidable foe as Sonic dukes it out with it. Back on Flickies Island, Grimer grows extremely concerned over Robotnik's risky plan. When Emperor Kodor interrogates Sonic, he's bound to discover that you already know where the Chaos Emeralds are, Grimer nervously states.
By the time he realizes I lied, my master plan will be in operation, confirms Robotnik.
But Master, your plan's too dangerous, it's never going to work, an even more worried Grimer states. Robotnik calls his plan perfect and that Grimer is a cringing coward. It will be Dr. Robotnik who will be master of the Chaos Emeralds. Robotnik scruffs Grimer by the collar asking,
"Is that clear?"
A terrified Grimer confirms it's quite clear to his master. This outburst even caught the attention of Kodor. Robotnik was playing a dangerous game here. One slip up and it would all be over for him. Meanwhile, Sonic and the Master Sentinel continue their battle. Sonic launches a direct attack and looks to defeat the mighty Sentinel. However, he comes straight back, though Sonic notices he's caused some damage to the Sentinel's chest. Sonic asks Tails to take him for a closer look. Sonic realises that he's punctured a hole and jumps straight for it and leaps inside. The Master Sentinel may be all but invulnerable to damage outside, but Sonic takes a bet that he's not like that on the inside. It doesn't take long for the Master Sentinel to completely collapse. He'd done it. He'd defeated the Master Sentinel. The Prosecutor escapes, but Sonic doubts that he's heard the last of the Drakon Empire. Kodor can't believe it. No one has ever defeated a Master Sentinel before, but he can't give up. He must have the Chaos Emeralds. And just as Kodor was planning his next move, Grimer approached him and said he might be able to help him with his search for the emeralds. Robotnik can't believe what he's seeing.
"Grimer, what are you doing?"
Grimer tells Kodor that Robotnik has been lying to him all along and that they already know where the Chaos Emeralds are. He has no need to continue his pursuit of Sonic. Robotnik's master plan had been ruined. Grimer had turned traitor of his former master. But why? All these years of loyal service only to backstab Robotnik? Grimer confirms that he's sick of working for Robotnik and that he deserves better. He sees the potential of Emperor Kodor and knows that his services will be properly respected with the Drakon Empire. Grimer asks to join forces with Emperor Kodor, and in return, he will lead him personally to the Chaos Emeralds. Kodor orders the Sentinels to raise their weapons to Robotnik.
"You'll pay for this, Grimer. You'll pay dearly,"
Robotnik threatens. Grimer sarcastically apologises while calling him walrus chops. So it looks like all the months of Robotnik's lies and manipulation was all for nothing. He had been ousted by his most loyal assistant. Just what fate would be in store for him now?
"You'll pay for this deceit, Robotnik, and you shall pay with your life," said Kodor.
The Sentinels arm their weapons towards Robotnik.
"Don't bother. This worthless has-been isn't worth our time. There are much more important issues we must address. Leave him to rot." "Leave him to rot," said Grimer.
The Mobius ring activated.
"Farewell, Doctor,"
an excited Grimer expressed. Then the Drakons and Grimer left. Kodor didn't even acknowledge Robotnik as he departed. After all, he now had what he needed: information. Robotnik was now all alone in his base on Flickies Island. Mostly quiet times resumed on Planet Mobius, though Sonic and Tails were dealing with a retro Badnik attack in the Metropolis Zone. These Badniks were controlled by Drat. They built the Badniks themselves from old design plans Robotnik gave them himself. The Badniks were very easily defeated, and soon these members of Drat were arrested. Meanwhile, in the House of War on the Drakon Empire's homeworld, the newly partnership of Grimer and Emperor Kodor were in meeting. Grimer informs that the Chaos Emeralds are situated on the floating island, and that the emeralds are the power source for the island to be floating high in the sky.
"All that power just sitting there waiting for me to come and take it,"
said Kodor. Grimer expressed there is a problem. Knuckles the Echidna, guardian of the Chaos Emeralds, and that he now has an army of Guardian robots to help him. This is of little concern to Kodor. His power is nothing compared to the Drakon Empire's. Kodor tells that Grimer was right to betray Robotnik and join the Drakon Empire.
Together, you and I will rule the universe,
Kodor stated. Grimer tells Kodor that he was simply tired of being on the side of losers. Just then, prisoners were brought to the Emperor, Hobson and Choy. They were accused of defacing one of Kodor's statues. Kodor doesn't have time for this trivial nonsense. He instructs them to be sent to the prison cells where he'll decide their punishment when he's ready, maybe in a year or two. While being escorted to the cells, Hobson and Choy make an escape. The super strong Hobson smashes the two sentinels' heads together and elbows the prosecutor through the wall. Choy, the so-called brains of the two, grabs the prosecutor's staff. He'd better hurry as more sentinels are on the way. Choy activates the Mobius ring via the dimensional staff, and the two leap into the Mobius ring without any clue as to where they were heading to. Choy expresses it's gotta be better than where they currently are. The Mobius ring's destination was its last known used location, and that last location is Dr. Robotnik's base on Flickies Island. The two have accidentally crashed Robotnik's base of operations. Robotnik is surprised by these intruders, but after listening to the two engage in a conversation, he concludes they are idiots. However, two idiots could be just what he's looking for. Robotnik's got to play this just right. Robotnik confronts Hobson and Choy, pretending to be a kind and caring man who was once the merciful ruler of Mobius. That was before the evil menace known as Sonic the Hedgehog. He even goes on to claim that Sonic and Supersonic are the same person, saying that the blue Sonic is his public face and the demonic side of Sonic is the real him. This terrifying demon stole his kingdom from him.
Ha! They don't even suspect I'm lying. That Supersonic and Sonic are two completely different individuals,
Robotnik quietly muttered. Despite Hobson's doubts, Choy agrees to help Robotnik by defeating Sonic and bringing him before him. After all, they are on the run from the Drakon Empire, and maybe Robotnik could help them out. Once Robotnik is ruler again, he'll reward them with riches and they'll never need to work again. That's the plan anyway, Choy thought. Robotnik activates the Mobius ring, of which he still had access to, and sends Hobson and Choy straight to the Emerald Hill Zone. Robotnik ponders that these two were even easier to fool than Knuckles was back when the Death Egg crashed on the floating island. It doesn't take long for Hobson and Choy to find Sonic. A comical battle ensues, and though Hobson does get a couple of shots in on Sonic, it's quite clear they are outmatched by him. To get out of the situation they are now in, Choy contacts Robotnik expressing that their mission is a success and they'd like to leave now. And with that, Hobson and Choy leave by the materialised Mobius ring. Sonic wonders that if Robotnik has sunk to using clowns like them, then he must be really desperate. A furious Robotnik orders the two bumbling idiots to leave his base and never return. A few weeks pass and there has been a report of strange aircraft heading towards the floating island. Sonic and Tails hop into the tornado and make their way to the floating island to investigate. The report was correct. Several large aircraft are landing. It's the Drakon Empire. Emperor Kodor has finally begun his attack to claim the Chaos Emeralds. Sonic knows they are obviously here for the Chaos Emeralds. What else could they be after? Knuckles' stamp collection? The tornado is immediately spotted and attacked by the Sentinels. Sonic goes on the offense while Tails can land the plane. Sonic has battled Sentinels before, but this time it's an entire army of them. This is not going to be an easy fight. Just where was Knuckles to help? The Green Prosecutor instructs half the Sentinels to contain Sonic while the other half will come with him. The Green Prosecutor claims to have plans that show of an opening somewhere here on the ground. A Sentinel finds a metal ring. That must be it. A secret tunnel that will lead them straight into the main passageway. A Sentinel goes to investigate before encountering one of the floating island's Guardian robots. The Green Prosecutor was hoping that Knuckles didn't have any of the defensive robots operational yet, but claims it's no matter and can be easily dealt with. He instructs two Sentinels to come with him and the rest to destroy the Guardian robot. It doesn't take long for the Drakons to arrive at the Emerald Chamber. The Purple Prosecutor states that by rights these emeralds belong to the Drakon Empire and that they were stolen from them thousands of years ago. That's ancient history to the Green Prosecutor. All he cares about is what the Emperor promised him. A captive Sonic is brought before the Green Prosecutor. Sonic claims these bozos didn't beat him. He just figured it was the easiest way to find out what they're up to. Just who is this Green Prosecutor anyway? He talks as if he knows Sonic.
Prepare yourself for a shock, Sonic.
It's Grimer. Grimer explains to Sonic that Kodor made him a better offer. He was sick of that overbearing loudmouth loser Robotnik. This time, he's on the winning side. And now more concerned Sonic says this would be a really good time for Knuckles to show up. Grimer has successfully disabled the floating island's defences and found the secret entrance to the Emerald Chamber. Kodor was right to trust him to lead this entire operation. On planet Drak, home of the Drakon Empire, Emperor Kodor receives a communication from the floating island. Grimer confirms that everything went according to plan and that the Chaos Emeralds are his for the taking.
Then do not delay, Grimer. Bring me those emeralds. Once I have them, I will use their power to rule the galaxy, instructed Kodor.
Grimer needs some time so he can power down some of the circuits before they can get their hands on the emeralds. Sonic states that the floating island will fall from the sky if you take those emeralds. The Purple Prosecutor grows concerned.
We'll all be killed, Grimer, he shouts.
Grimer's worked it out. Once the emeralds are removed, there will be enough power in the island's systems to keep it in the sky for a couple hours. So don't listen to Sonic, he tells the Prosecutor. With the circuits now down, the Sentinels begin to retrieve the emeralds. Grimer, you're a fool. You can't trust the Drakon Empire. You were better off when you worked for Dr. Robotnik, Sonic shouts. However, just at that moment, more Guardian robots arrive. Killer machines with their sole purpose of protecting the Chaos Emeralds. It's just the distraction Sonic needs to break free from his chains. An all-out battle ensues with the Drakon forces, Sonic and the Guardian robots. Grimer has just finished collecting the last Chaos Emerald. It's time for them to get out of here. However, when Grimer rechecks, one of the emeralds is now missing. Sonic has taken the most important emerald from the lot, the Master Emerald. Sonic makes a run for it.
We still have 6 of the emeralds. Isn't that enough? The Purple Prosecutor asks. No, it's not. He has the Master Emerald. Without it, the rest are useless, Grimer angrily explains.
Sonic has bought himself a little time. He just needs to figure out how to get the rest of the emeralds back before the island crashes to the ground. While escaping with the Master Emerald, Sonic bumps into Tails. It took him so long to meet up due to landing the plane miles away. And just as they finish their brief catch-up, a bright light materialises in front of them. Just what is happening now? It's Knuckles! He's back! Knuckles had been away on his own adventure in the Special Zone. Then that means that light must have been the Omni viewer. It's too late, he's gone. Sonic's hopes of getting help from the Chaotix crew had now been dashed. Sonic is angry at Knuckles' absence. While you were away having a little holiday, the floating island was attacked by the Drakon Empire. They're after the emeralds. Sonic brings Knuckles up to speed on everything else that's going on before being cut off by the Purple Prosecutor. The Drakons have found them. Knuckles wonders if he's been dragged into another one of Sonic's stupid wars. My wars? I thought I was helping you, Sonic expresses while the two battle the Drakon Sentinels. While those two fight, the Purple Prosecutor makes a run for the Master Emerald. Tails tries to stop him, but he's easily dealt with. With the Master Emerald in hand, the Purple Prosecutor makes his way back to the Emerald Chamber to give Grimer the missing emerald. The last of the Guardian robots had now been destroyed. At last, now with the Master Emerald, Grimer can get on with his real plan.
Real plan? Grimer, you fool, what are you talking? It's easier if I show you.
Sonic, Knuckles and Tails catch up after defeating the Sentinels, but decide to remain hidden to see just what Grimer's up to. First, Grimer operates a switch on his Drakon sword. Then, he watches all the Drakon forces fade away. Grimer has betrayed the Drakon Empire. The coast is clear. Everything went according to plan. They never suspected a thing. Grimer then activates the Mobius ring. Someone is arriving. It wasn't easy to turn a Drakon sword into a transportation device. Thankfully, it worked for him. From the Mobius ring, Robotnik arrives.
Well done, Grimer. I never guessed you were such an accomplished actor.
Grimer never betrayed Robotnik at all. It was all an elaborate scheme set up by Robotnik. Robotnik knew he didn't have the resources to attack the floating island, so he used the Drakon Empire to do his dirty work for him. Grimer pretended to betray Robotnik so he could align himself with Kodor. There, with Drakon forces, they could attack the floating island, disable all of the island's defense systems. Grimer could then use a modified Drakon sword to watch the Drakons dematerialize, leaving only himself. There he would bring forth Robotnik, who was waiting for his cue. The Chaos Emeralds are now his. Robotnik's risky but brilliant scheme had paid off big. Robotnik has brought a machine along with him. He begins to attach it to the Chaos Emeralds and arms it facing directly towards himself. However, one thing Robotnik didn't plan for was Sonic. The Sonic heroes crash Robotnik's celebration. However, Robotnik already claims that this time Sonic is too late. Robotnik activates his machine and an intense blinding light shoots through the entire Emerald Chamber. Robotnik's machine is absorbing the power of the Chaos Emeralds into himself. The power of the Chaos Emeralds will turn him into a god. Sonic and Knuckles have got to stop him, but they are unable to get any closer. However, Robotnik realizes that something is wrong. He's absorbing too much power. He's got to turn the machine off, but before he has a chance to act any further, he turns into a green crystal statue, frozen in time. Robotnik has absorbed so much power that his body couldn't handle it. Grimer collapses down in front of the crystal statue. It had all been for nothing. Robotnik's master plan had backfired massively, or so it would seem. The battle against the Drakons on the floating island was over, and Robotnik looked to be defeated this time for good. Tails wonders what to do with Robotnik, and Sonic jokingly says he should be used to model clothes in a shop window. He's proved to be the biggest dummy around. Some short time had passed. Grimer had been handed into the authorities and placed in prison. Sonic and Tails return to the floating island. Knuckles wants Robotnik's statue gone. Sonic jokes that Robotnik turned into a crystal from your emeralds after all. So you're saying it's my problem? Thanks a lot, Sonic, says Knuckles. Well, they've got to do something about it. They can't just leave it here. The last thing Knuckles wants to see is that thing glaring at him whenever he goes to the Emerald Chamber. Sonic and Knuckles head off, but Tails notices something odd about the crystal Robotnik. Wait, it can't be. Tails calls out to Sonic but is cut off. Tails was being choked. Dr. Robotnik has returned. By some manner, Robotnik was alive and well and functioning as a moving green crystal version of himself.
Thought you'd seen the last of me, didn't you, Hedgehog?
More hoped, really. Knuckles goes on the attack, saying he'll make Robotnik wish he hadn't bothered to come back, but Robotnik hits Knuckles with a powerful eye laser blast, knocking him unconscious. The situation is starting to look bad. Sonic realises he needs to try to end this quickly before it escalates even more. Sonic attacks Robotnik, but Robotnik suddenly turns himself into a giant. This is getting worse and worse for our heroes. Robotnik continues blasting eye lasers erratically, while explaining that he now possesses the power of the Chaos Emeralds. He had just absorbed so much power that his body took a while to adjust to the change. So when Sonic thought he had changed into a statue, he was just adapting to his new power. Sonic should have smashed him while he had the chance, but he didn't, and now it's too late. Much too late. Robotnik doesn't need Grimer anymore, he doesn't need Badniks or Troopers or help from the Drakon Empire. He is the Force now. Knuckles regains consciousness and he has a plan. He just needs to get to the control panel beneath the emeralds. However, Robotnik noticed him. He propels the Echidna face first into the wall. Robotnik then continues to gloat his confirmed victory. Knuckles manages to tell Sonic to push the button. The one next to him. It's the only chance they've got. Sonic isn't sure which button to press, so he presses them all. Maybe he'll get lucky. Then suddenly, a blast shoots from the Master Emerald directly to Robotnik. It hits Robotnik, who then smashes to pieces. What just happened? Knuckles explains that somehow Robotnik forgot about the Chaos Emeralds. When Sonic pushed that button, the Master Emerald absorbed Robotnik's power in a split second. Robotnik is gone. Just as Knuckles finishes explaining, a thunderous laugh can be heard from outside. Robotnik was far from gone. All that had been done was he'd been released from his crystal form. Robotnik had now transformed into a colossal giant, big enough to hold the entire floating island in the palm of his hands. Robotnik has now become the most powerful creature in the universe. Robotnik now rules supreme. Sonic and the others head outside to face the giant. Sonic says he'll still find a way to beat him, he always does. Robotnik replies that he simply doesn't understand what he is dealing with here. Robotnik has abilities now he couldn't even begin to understand.
Allow me to demonstrate.
Robotnik shoots a blast from his eye directly hitting Sonic. After shaking off Robotnik's attack, Sonic opens his eyes to find he's not on the floating island anymore. Just where is Sonic? Being logical, Robotnik must have knocked him out and dumped him here. Sonic notices a disturbance nearby. It's some troopers. I thought all of Robotnik's troopers had been destroyed. Just like old time's sake, Sonic quickly disposes of them. It's Amy and Johnny. Surely they should have been able to handle a couple of troopers. But something is wrong. Amy and Johnny don't recognise Sonic, and this location he's in is actually the Emerald Hill Zone. But how? The Emerald Hill Zone is full of trees and flowers. This is nothing like it. Amy explains that that was before Robotnik came along. Now this zone is used to process radioactive waste or toxic chemical dumping. Sonic states that they are all freedom fighters, but again, they haven't a clue what he's talking about. It's been a very long time since anyone's used the word freedom. Then suddenly, Oscar the Pig arrives with his death squad. But wait, that's Porker Lewis. Oscar demands Sonic identify himself. He tells Porker, who is going by the name Oscar, that it's me, Sonic the Hedgehog. After checking his global database, he confirms that there is no record of any Sonic the Hedgehog. How strange, everyone is recorded in the Citizen database. It's as if you don't exist. The Death Squad will have to take this one in for interrogation. Sonic still can't make anything of what's going on, but whatever is going on, no badnik is taking him anywhere. Sonic wants answers from Porker, and answers now. When Sonic approaches Porker, Robotnik finally reappears. Robotnik had been watching everything unfold since Sonic awakened.
Don't you get it? Nobody knows you, Sonic. You never existed,
Robotnik explains. Using his incredible powers, Robotnik has changed history. What you see is how Mobius would have been if there had never been a Sonic the Hedgehog. Robotnik rather likes it this way. Without Sonic, Amy and Johnny never became freedom fighters. Porker never had a hero to look up to and give him courage, and as a result, Porker aligned himself with Robotnik, becoming one of his many slaves.
Look at him, Sonic! He's terrified of me, my most devoted slave.
Sonic asks Robotnik what became of Tails.
Ah, your cute little friend, such a tragedy. Do you remember how you first met him?
Sure he does. They met in the Swampland Zone. Tails had fallen into the swamp and he pulled him out. Except Sonic wasn't there to save him this time. He never existed. You mean? Yes. Tails drowned to death. He died all alone. Sonic literally breaks down as Robotnik laughs with joy in Sonic's face. Ecstatic to see Sonic broken because of his best friend's death. A truly cold and chilling moment. Planet Mobius, now under complete domination of the all-powerful Dr. Robotnik. Some worker Mobians discuss that they have nothing to look forward to now except misery and despair. At least it's not raining. That was short-lived. It immediately starts to rain. God Robotnik hears everything. Sonic arrives and he's here to help. Of course, no one still knows who he is. All that matters is he's here to save the world. He's done it before and he'll do it again. The Mobians laugh at such bold claims. Yeah, sure you have. Troopers come over to them. Talking in the streets has a penalty of extermination. Sonic quickly disposes of the troopers once again. The Mobians begin to have some hope after seeing Sonic save them. Maybe we can beat Robotnik with you on our side. And just as the Mobian finishes his sentence, Robotnik crashes the celebration.
No one can beat Robotnik now. I have supreme power.
Robotnik has transformed into a giant again and splits the road in front of him apart. Sonic just about manages to save the Mobians from falling to their doom. Sonic tells Robotnik to do his worst. Robotnik then transforms into a galactic-sized giant and holds the planet in the palm of his hand. He calls Sonic an insolent little speck. He could destroy Planet Mobius in the palm of his hand. Typical. The power of the universe at your command and you're still nothing but a big bully, Sonic responds. Yeah, you could destroy the planet, but what's the point of ruling the world if there's nothing to rule? Robotnik calls Sonic's speech wise words. It would be like smashing his favourite toy. Robotnik allows Sonic and the Mobians to live, but it's only because he enjoys seeing the citizens live in misery. How can Sonic defeat something so mighty? A Mobian asks. Because he let us live, and that's going to be his first mistake. Sonic continues to explore this new, dark and miserable Mobius, with Robotnik watching his every move. Robotnik has reverted to his giant form once again. Sonic tells him it doesn't matter how desperate the situation seems, he will stop Robotnik's insane plans. No matter how hopeless things seems, he'll beat him in the end.
Will you indeed? Let's find out, shall we?
Robotnik zaps Sonic again. Sonic gets up, but he feels strange.
Not as strange as you look, old Spikes.
Sonic notices that Robotnik has turned back into his normal form. This is his chance to attack while his guard is down. Sonic tries to run towards Robotnik, but he starts to wobble and stumble. He can barely walk, let alone run. Robotnik, who's loving every moment, calls him truly pathetic. Robotnik explains that the reason Sonic can't run is because of his arthritis. He's been suffering from it for years. Robotnik has forwarded time 65 years. Sonic is now a very old hedgehog. Robotnik has done this to prove to Sonic that despite all his heroic outbursts that he'll defeat him mean nothing. He's gone forward in time to find out if what Sonic said was true, and it wasn't. Sonic is going to spend the next 65 miserable years fighting Robotnik, and it will all be for nothing. The celebrations are beginning. Today is Robotnik Day. Robotnik now, Robotnik forever. Today is the 70th anniversary of Robotnik's rule over Mobius. They don't look very happy though. Robotnik expresses that of course they're not happy. What's the fun of being a dictator if people are happy about it? Then suddenly, Sonic is young again. Robotnik has reversed time back 65 years to the present. You didn't think he was going to miss out on 65 years of humiliating Sonic, did you? Sonic's had enough. He charges once again towards Robotnik. It's time for Robotnik, however, to have a little fun. Sonic is absorbed into Robotnik himself before appearing at a theatre show. It seems Sonic is the worst actor they've ever had to play Sonic himself in this show. What's even crazier is the other actors and the audience are all Robotnik. Sonic is booed off the stage. Robotnik changes the reality time and time again. Sonic claims once again that whatever he does and change reality any way he wants, somehow he'll still win. Because no matter how ridiculous the situation, Sonic will never give up Robotnik. Sonic will never give up. Robotnik reverts the reality back to his dystopian future. Sonic brings up all the times he's beaten Robotnik in the past. Sure, all this weirdness is giving him a hard time, so what? Creeps like Robotnik didn't even slow him down before.
So you yearned for the good old days, eh?
Robotnik responds that Sonic thinks if he had his old enemies to face, he'd win easily. Robotnik wants to put that to the test. Robotnik points to some machinery on the floor. They are beginning to take form. From the rubble emerges Metallix, the metal Sonic. Robotnik has revived one of Sonic's most deadliest rivals. It has all led to this, from Robotnik's overthrown of power to his new base on Flickies Island, the manipulation of the Drakon Empire to finally gaining access to the Chaos Emeralds. Dr. Robotnik has now become a god. We have reached the exciting conclusion to it all. The ultimate showdown between Sonic and Robotnik is now. Sonic goes head to head with Metallix, all while Robotnik watches. Metallix hits hard.
You don't stand a chance, Sonic! Give up now and I may go easy on you.
Sonic refuses while Metallix continues his relentless attack. Metallix punches Sonic, knocking him some distance. Sonic falls into some purple liquid. That's no normal purple liquid, it's Megatox. Robotnik has revived another of Sonic's old adversaries. Robotnik has the ability to bring back any of Sonic's old enemies, all he has to do is visualize them. Megatox attacks. Sonic's beaten all these bozos in the past and he can do it again, but Robotnik responds that he's never had to fight them all at the same time. Robotnik revives Plasma, another of Sonic's adversaries. Now the odds really are becoming stacked against Sonic. Metallix alone is bad enough. A bold Sonic claims Robotnik is really scraping the bottom of the barrel now by reviving Plasma.
So you prefer a more worthy opponent, do you?
Be careful what you ask for, Sonic. Forming itself from that junk, a figure that Sonic hoped he would never see again. Robotnik has revived Commander Brutus, the most dangerous of foes that Robotnik has yet revived. Commander Brutus, a foe that Sonic has never been able to beat without the aid of transforming into Supersonic. And as Sonic is unable to transform into Supersonic anymore, he must face Brutus and all these other foes at the same time, all alone. Brutus aims his blaster at Sonic and fires away. It's now 6 against 1. Robotnik humours Sonic by saying maybe he should even the odds a little. It's Tails, but we thought he was dead. Robotnik's incredible powers allow him to bring life to anyone. Sonic tries to quickly form a plan with Tails before Tails smacks Sonic right on the back of the head. That's not Tails at all, it's Metamorphia the shapeshifter. It's now 7 on 1. Sonic's still not about to give up though. Sonic aims a super spin attack directly at Brutus. Brutus reminds Sonic that he knows he can't damage him, his armour is invulnerable to Sonic's attacks. That's true, Sonic says, but maybe Plasma can. Sonic hits Brutus directly into Plasma. The impact with Brutus has disrupted Plasma's electrons and starts a chain reaction attacking all of Sonic's other adversaries. A mighty explosion erupts. Sonic has defeated all of his old adversaries at once. Robotnik is quick to remind Sonic that round 1 goes to him, but he's getting tired and worn down. Sonic won't be able to keep this up forever. Sonic says he can beat whatever he throws at him. Robotnik is glad to hear it, as the worst is yet to come. Robotnik has sent Sonic to the Special Zone. He quickly encounters Vector. Sonic tells him to quickly round up the rest of the Chaotix crew, they've got to stop Robotnik. Vector hasn't a clue what Sonic's talking about. Robotnik has changed history so that Chaotix never existed. Robotnik makes his presence known as he's reverted back into a giant, bragging once again that with his powers he can change everything. Sonic replies, "Everything but your socks, unfortunately," before being hit by Mr. Fry, demanding Sonic show some respect. It's Lord Sidewinder and his associates. Sidewinder tells Sonic that it's Overlord Sidewinder now. With no Chaotix crew to stop him, Sidewinder is now ruler of the Special Zone. Sonic's super spin attack will knock that smile off his face, Sonic replies. But something's wrong and Sonic falls over. His speed and skill are all gone. Robotnik forgot to mention that he took away Sonic's powers simply because he can. Robotnik is simply enjoying every moment of this. Biohazard and Mr. Fry decide to play a game of tennis with Sonic being the ball. This is all too easy for Lightmare, but her father, Overlord Sidewinder, tells her to have patience. Once Sonic is defeated, they can turn their attention to their main objective. Sidewinder whispers to Lightmare, that the true objective is to steal Robotnik's powers so that he can rule the universe. Robotnik hears this. Being a supreme being, he doesn't miss a thing. A furious Robotnik turns Sidewinder and his goons all to stone as a warning to anyone else who may betray him. "You just can't trust anyone these days, can you, Doctor?" a cocky Sonic tells Robotnik. Robotnik violently responds with a blast from his eyes, telling him to be silent. Robotnik says that Sonic's words are brave, but he will break his spirit, and as he finally begs for mercy, he will destroy him forever. "Big deal," responds Sonic. It did seem that Sonic was acting extremely reckless here by trying to push his luck with Robotnik, but Sonic had a plan, a last-ditch idea to finish Robotnik off for good, but he had to play everything right. If Robotnik caught wind of what he was up to, it would surely be the end of Sonic and all of Planet Mobius forever. "All that power and you're still scared of losing that you took away my special abilities. Still, at least Knuckles won't see me humiliated," Sonic says. Robotnik laughs at such foolish claims. "Robotnik scared? Impossible." Robotnik returns Sonic's speed and skills and sends him to the floating island so Knuckles can witness his embarrassing defeat. Sonic's plan worked. He tricked Robotnik into sending him to the floating island, and what's more, reality was back to normal. No longer was he in Robotnik's miserable dystopian future. Sonic immediately rushes to Knuckles. Sonic has figured out how to beat Robotnik, but it all depends on Knuckles. However, Knuckles turns around and punches Sonic, stating that any enemy of Robotnik is an enemy of his. Robotnik has changed things again. Sonic's plan was now in jeopardy. Robotnik arrives to inform Sonic that in this reality, Knuckles is his faithful servant. Knuckles lives to serve his master. Robotnik orders Knuckles to destroy Sonic now. "With pleasure," replies Knuckles. This is bad. Sonic wasn't counting on Robotnik turning Knuckles evil. He's got to think of something fast. Sonic once again plays with Robotnik's ego, stating that he knows deep down that even alone he'd still beat him, and if Knuckles was on his side they would easily win. Sonic continues to throw bold threats to Robotnik, all the while dodging Knuckles' attacks. Robotnik cannot believe this lunacy.
You think one ridiculous blue hedgehog and a measly echidna can defeat me?
"Then try us, Robotnik, I dare you." Robotnik has now completely enraged with anger at this pathetic threat. Robotnik's eyes glow with emerald power as his rage intensifies. Robotnik shows Sonic just how frightened he is of him and turns Knuckles back to normal.
For all the good it will do you.
Knuckles snaps back to normal but is at a complete loss of his surroundings. This is it. Robotnik plans to eradicate Sonic and Knuckles once and for all.
Prepare to meet your doom, Sonic!
But Sonic tells Robotnik that Knuckles needs a little time to get his head around what's going on here. To humour Sonic, Robotnik agrees he will count to 100, then that's it. No more games, no more threats, no more changing reality. After he counts to 100, he will destroy Sonic once and for all. Robotnik begins to count. Sonic and Knuckles run to the Emerald Chamber. They don't have much time. They find Robotnik's machine. Perfect, it's still there. It's the machine Robotnik used to absorb the Emerald's power in the first place. Sonic's plan must be to somehow reverse the effects of the machine on Robotnik. Robotnik reaches 100. Ready or not, here he comes. Robotnik locates them both in the Emerald Chamber and Sonic with his machine aimed directly at him. Robotnik has seen through Sonic's plan immediately.
So that's your plan, is it? You think you can turn my own machine against me? Take away all my emerald power?
Robotnik blasts the machine, smashing it to pieces before Sonic can activate it.
Only I know how to operate that machine. Did you really think such a pathetic plan would work?
Not really, no, Sonic responds. Sonic just needed to distract Robotnik for a few seconds so that Knuckles could get into position.
The echidna!
Suddenly, Robotnik is blasted by Knuckles holding the grey emerald. That's right, Robotnik, the Grey Emerald, the Control Emerald. Robotnik was having his emerald power sucked out of his body, and there wasn't anything he could do or to resist it from happening. Robotnik tries to plead to Knuckles, but Knuckles isn't having any of it. Knuckles has got to concentrate, use the emerald to reconfigure all the emerald energy into its original pattern. In other words, undo all the harm Robotnik's done. But something's happening to Robotnik. He's shrinking.
No, I was so close,
would be Robotnik's final words as he continued to shrink until he completely vanishes into thin air. What's happened? Where is Robotnik? It appears that Robotnik's body had become so used to being emerald powered that it couldn't exist without it. Several years ago, Robotnik had absorbed a smaller amount of the Chaos Emerald's power into himself. However, the power was removed from him after a few minutes and left no lasting damage to him. But this time, Robotnik had absorbed a much higher dosage of power, and this power was a part of him for days, weeks, years, even decades. Robotnik's powers had become a very part of Robotnik himself. When Knuckles stripped Robotnik's powers, he destroyed Robotnik along with his emerald powers. Robotnik was gone, and this time it looked for good. Later, in the Emerald Hill Zone, Sonic and Knuckles see the success of their plan. Nobody remembers a thing about Robotnik being a supreme power. It's like it never happened. Knuckles questions, why is Sonic so glum then? Sonic tells Knuckles that they've just won one of the greatest victories ever against an enemy so powerful he could have destroyed them with a single thought. So, what's the point of being a big hero when nobody can remember it? Sonic had done it. Robotnik was defeated, and this time it looked for good. All the damage Robotnik had done with his emerald power had been reversed, including Tails, who was now alive and well. In the end, it would be Robotnik's own ego and underestimating Sonic that was his downfall. He could have destroyed Sonic at any given moment, but he chose to instead play and toy with him, and in turn, allow a mere mortal to get the upper hand of a god. Was this truly the end of Robotnik? Thank you very much for reaching the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a lot of fun to make, and it was great to see this side of Robotnik. For mostly the first 100 issues of Sonic the Comic, Robotnik was the ruler of the planet, so to see how he handles having absolutely nothing and working his way up to eventually becoming a god was very interesting and cool. One thing about STC's Robotnik is, you can never count him out. If you enjoyed this video, then a thumbs up would be very much appreciated. I'm not going to lie, this video was a ton of work to put together, so a thumbs up would really help me out. This is not the end, of course, and the continuation of Robotnik's story will eventually make its way for your viewing pleasure. Until then, thank you for watching, and see you all again soon.